want to say that he came in second place to Luxray a couple of times beforehand. Let me take a look at the tournament results. Yeah, let's see. Horns up, Zoki. Yep, BW Styles definitely had a loss to Luxray in Grand Finals back in IDM number 32, which was, I think, either the beginning or no, it was the middle of February.
Yeah. So it has been some time, but I do think that, like, even then, like, BW has improved a bunch since then, and at the same time, they haven't played too much, and it does sound like from what I'm seeing in Twitch chat that Luxray will be playing the Cheeto skin Garfield Incineroar. I personally call that orange skin Mac and Cheetos, just because it's like, he really is just mac and cheese Incineroar, you know? He's got that orange cheese in there, and he's got the yellow noodles.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just such a good, funny skin. Like, such a funny character. But I will, like, he is saying that he's playing Incineroar, so depending on who BW goes, we'll probably be seeing the Mega Man. I wouldn't say that's not a bad idea. Like, that's a great idea. I think that BW has been showing a hot streak with Mega Man, and if he's able to try and continue it just a bit longer than he normally has, like, especially in this first set, he's on winner's side. All he needs is 3 games or one best of 5. And if he's able to close out in that best of 5, I think that should be his game plan. Because it seems like whenever he's held too long, his expiration date gets closer and closer to the end of that second game.
Yeah.
And like halfway through, he maybe switches to Terry or We're seeing the Banjo. We got a liar in the house. No, no Incineroar.
All right, let's go ahead and hop on over to Grand Finals. Match number 1.
You know, we haven't seen too much Banjo, and we have not. I don't think I've personally seen Luxray's Banjo. Banjo is a character, though, that can be played in all sorts of ways. Like, you can play him very passively with his pellets and grenades. It's a similar way to, like, Mega Man, in a sense, with, like, the way you control space with pellets as well as, like, that sticky bomb. But just a bit slower, since they are slower to come out. And, like, you can't use them in the air necessarily. But he also has really great boxing tools. He has a really fast F-tilt, a really far-reaching down tilt, and he has that invincible side B that you can use up to 5 times per stock. Ooh, the berry. Ooh, goes for the upper there.
BW Styles with a little bit of a lead right now.
Are we going to see the berry? Yes, we are. And the up smash. No way of rolling out of that mash. Or of that berry, I mean. Ooh, and BW knows to run away and then just shield. Because that's something that on Wi-Fi or just in any environment really is like, you just don't know, like,
where it's
like you aren't. Yeah. And so the best thing you can do is take a second, run away as far as you feel that you can, and then at some point shield, because the closer you are to the end of it, the easier it's going to be to just finish off that stock or at least get some sort of punished. Because a lot of times people are like, well, I can just shield, you know? And then sometimes they may decide, well, I'll just throw out another side B, now you're just stuck there again. And while, like, that is a weird strat, like, just to run away from something, they are coming towards you and will still always cross you up on your shield, too. So it's just something to be aware of. It's actually a reaction I personally have a lot of trouble with playing as Pac-Man, because I just, like, forget to run away a lot. And then I'm just stuck in the middle of it, and it's a much worse position. Ooh, that Mega Man, that fully charged out smash. Great awareness by Luxray, knowing when to get up from ledge.
BW Styles struggling a little bit right now. Luxray takes the stock lead. Ooh, BW miscalculating on that one.
Uh-oh. Yeah. This is where Banjo gets dangerous. This is when he has control of the match. You gotta be careful. Oh man, these down throw reads. And also being at max rage like this, like, it's just like a scary situation because every single hit's gotta do more. These backers, these small pokes here every so often. You gotta take the stock soon. Nice. I think that BW recognizing there that he's already at 100%, he can't really afford to take too much more damage, like, at this higher end. That won't kill yet, but it will next time. And I think that BW just needs to, at this point, just use what the Rage gives him and just try to give as much damage as he can to Luxray. Don't, like, commit too hard unless you know you have an opening, or you know you can get some sort of crazy punish, but when you try to commit to something like that, it's super dangerous. Luxray, pulling it out. Here, let's see that replay. Luxray just staying patiently, controlling the neutral, controlling the main stage game. Kind of just using his abilities to force BW kind of in here, and then as soon as he gets on stage, he sees that BW rolls through and just does that spot dodge down smash. For that match, I'm not sure. Like, I think that for Banjo, you just kind of have to play it a bit more safe. And the safer you play against Banjo, like, the more times you kind of force him to approach you in those situations, the more you're going to notice that the damage is kind of going to be a bit more high in your favor. Just because Banjo, like, his camping and stuff it can be a bit, like, hard to deal with at times. But you will notice that you aren't being dealt too much damage over time. It just gets to be a big issue if you're trying to approach a lot of the time. Just switch up the pace of the game, see what you need to do, like, if you can notice it mid-match, and then switch it up from there.
Right. That's
kind of, like, what I think you have to do, because sometimes players get a bit frustrated against Banjo. They aren't sure. They might even be, like, losing the damage ratio in the camp battle. But I think that as soon as they see that, it's going to be a bit easier to just take it from a passive side. We'll be seeing the Banjo matchup kind of favor BW. Well, let's see if he can get there first.
Well, they both agree to go right back to small battlefield.
Yeah. Oh wow, going for that double fair. Not getting the spike. Oh, shielding right from him, gets F tilted for his troubles. And we're seeing a lot of times this damage like output for BW is decent, but like when it comes to the kill, like he is trying real hard to just take off his stock a bit quicker than the usual stock percentage, and like right now is when I'd say I would have wanted BW to get that kill earlier, because see, he just gets it like just like that, but he's already behind a little bit of percent, and if he's playing that aggressive game, like he's got to be careful of when he's deciding to approach every single time. Like, have the pace be in your favor. Don't always be approaching him. Like, take some time to just, like, give him a chance to approach, and then, like, return the pace after he gets that one chance. Because, like, eventually your habits are going to be starting to be read out much quicker because of just the way the pace is for Luxray. And for BW, this type of faster paced gameplay is preferred, I'm sure. But at the same time, like, he doesn't always do it every game, and this is one of those matchups where maybe he's not familiar with, or maybe he's just not sure of like the differences in Lux's playstyle versus another type of Banjo player. Now he's
just getting ready.
He's starting to bring it back.
Tried to bring it, get sent right into kill percent.
Yeah. You can't be too hasty here. Just take this time. Yep. Just take this time. Try to not lose your stock mash as hard as you can. Nice. Half the percent window from that. He's not going to get that again. Just don't do anything hasty. And see how this match is already starting to get back into BW's favor here. Just because now that he's no longer in these turn percent windows, yep. So the only thing that can really kill him here is a fair raw smash or that side B. And all three of those things are semi-committal moves, but that time BW is not expecting the aerial side B and does get hit for it. Ooh, nice air dodge to get out of the up air chain. Nice back air. Let's see what has he got. Does not get spiked, goes low. And finally, BW taking the stock with pretty much no damage done, just 6%. And I think that's fine. I think that BW's much better, like, in a much better state for this pace of the game rather than last time. And we're already seeing this. Look at that. He's just using his projectiles in such nice ways, getting shield pokes, getting everything he kind of needs to just sort of chip away and also force Luxray to be the approacher instead of the other way around. And now we're seeing Mega Man now here, kind of controlling the pace of this game, forcing burst rush moments like with these dash attacks into F smash and saws. And look at this ledge pressure now, these side Bs and the saws again. Oh, we gotta be careful of that. Ooh.
Luxray taking the lead back.
Nice idea there with BW, knowing that he wasn't gonna get anything off of the down B and deciding to go on top of platform, but also facing towards Luxray still, knowing that if he faced away, Luxray may have decided to just attack him because of the large amount of end lag at the end of down B. And it was a really smart way of just saying like, all right, I'm respecting your options, you have good options, and I don't want to get punished by you. And now we see BW, because of that type of pause, that is what I was kind of talking about earlier, he made the adjustment and now has a really commanding lead at the end of this game. Let's see, what can he do? This is kind of the moment where, there it is.
Oh,
nice.
BW Styles knotted it up at 1-1 apiece.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that we want to see for BW Styles. Just because at the beginning of that game, I think the pace was a bit similar to the end of the first one. But as we see here, like this whole last interaction, just you see BW make use of the platforms. You're seeing him just run around Banjo, making him think about a bit too much where he was going to go. Forcing like things with that, making the platform just a bit early, forcing a spot dodge, and backing up to do the F smash, all making Luxray kind of second guess any sort of options he can.
True, true. Now the question is, looks like we've got a ban on Smashville and Final Destination from BW Styles, it looks like. So we'll see what they come up with stage-wise, but let's not forget, Luxray has a gamut of characters. He won his last match against RP4 playing Incineroar. So I'm curious. I mean, I don't think that he felt like he took such a devastating loss that, you know, knowing what we know about Luxray, he's going to change characters or not. It's 1-1 right now, so he still has a round to, you know, even if he loses this next one, to pick another character and then essentially win 2 in a row, which not foreign for him.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, like, for Luxray, maybe he switches characters. I could see him being like, all right, well, this isn't working as much as I would have hoped. Because maybe Luxray was just like, yeah, okay. Because I think Luxray might be having a little bit of fun. Maybe he's just like, yeah, all right, like, let's see what this character can do now. And it also might be kind of like a test in another way. Because, like, obviously, if BW, like, we've kind of been talking him up a bit all night, like, saying how much he's improved and all that. But, like, when you have a character who has great fundamentals like Luxray, as well as is pretty much always a force to be reckoned with no matter who he plays, it's like a test to say, all right, can you speedrun like a bunch of different matches with all of these character archetypes? Like, do you know this character? Do you know this character? Like, because all these characters between like Little Mac, Banjo, Falco, like these are all very different archetypes of characters. Like even P.Plant is very much like a setup and punish character. Like he's not necessarily bait and punish because he doesn't really have like something he's baiting you with, so to speak. And the counter and the punish kind of comes from both his down B, his smash attacks, and that neutral B with the cannonball, the spiky ball. Because if you hit like, if you go for like a physical like close range attack against P.Plant while he has that ball out, if he gets hit away from underneath it, it will just directly fall.
Yep. Comes down and hits you at the end.
Yeah. So this is a pretty simple. This is a pretty close match. But I think that despite the close range fear that can kind of be brought from P.Plant, you definitely have to fight this character up close. Because if you allow him to kind of control the pace of the match, you're really never going to have that type of good interaction. However, you can't be always mashing. Similar to Banjo, you want to have a balance between both passive and aggressive. You want to give them time to try and approach you and counter that, and then start your aggression, but also be the one who's also doing burst options and deciding when to pick the pace. Because when you aren't, you're going to be seeing lots of spiky ball, lots of up smashes when you're trying to approach at times that are very easy to read, lots of down Bs from afar that are just going to be like crazy clipping snipe kind of things, and a lot of spiky balls. Because they're all really good moves. It's just like, you wouldn't expect them to be, you know? Like even the down B has armor on it. So you just have to be super careful if you're BW. Because even then, like, you see how Luxray, like, that time, he just held the ball out. And then, like, let it go back in. Like, he didn't even need to throw it out. Because he knew that at that moment, if he gets touched, it's still going to punish BW more. Oh, go for the clam. Gets grabbed for it.
I'll try it.
Oh, that was so scary. Back throw? Up throw again. Yeah, it's going to kill there.
Yep, into a star finish.
Yeah. That's one thing P.Plant I kind of forget about. He does have really decent throws. His down throw kind of combos into his like aerials, and then his forward is a really good tool to get up people off stage. And his back throw is okay for killing, and his up throw is really good for killing, as well as having a really decent up smash that's been buffed a couple of times now, and a newer up tilt. But even then, the up tilt's not too good because he already has all these great tools with the really damaging side B cloud that you kind of forget even does damage, as well as being a super heavy. So even then, like, we could argue that because of the characters Luxray already specializes in, this is pretty much just Plant and Incineroar. But as I say that, he does end up taking an SD, but not too bad. He was able to get to about like 150 or higher with that stock. So really well-earned stock, and then even there, using these down B to counter that Leaf Shield, usually shielding BW from percent, getting hit that time. Ooh, overextended there with that grab. Ooh, and there it is, the up smash.
Wow. Luxray
Yeah.
2-1.
And that's right here we'll see in the replay. This up smash was actually patched, I don't remember exactly when, maybe almost a year ago now, but they added much larger hitbox for the scoop ability for it, because it used to scoop, but it was really hard to get, and so it pretty much made you unable to use the up smash, because it was just so bad. And for P.Plant, he was considered a joke character just because of how bad he was considered at one point, but then look at how far that scoops him in from. And it still was the sweet spot to get the KO. So you can already tell that, like, I've gone from, like, disrespecting that up smash to being like, why is that so good, man? Like, I got caught in that from how far? Like, it's a great move, and you gotta respect it.
Yep, scoops from afar. And Luxray putting it to his advantage in that one, going up 2-1 in this set. And just as a way to remind everybody, this is a best 3 out of 5 grand finals, which means with Luxray trying to see if he can dethrone BW Styles from his winner's final status, we'll be resetting the bracket and then moving on as these guys are getting ready to jump into the next match. Let's update that scoreboard and then hop into it.
Alrighty, so we're seeing PS2, same characters. Don't blame him. It's kind of been for Luxray, like, if it works, don't fix it. Like,
yep,
don't
if it
change
ain't broke,
don't fix it. Yeah, like, man, we're seeing similar start to this game. Both kind of just going ham, trying to get the damage when you can, and it's just been tied. Like, but oh my god, like look at that! Like they're really just hitting each other at the same time now. It's just. Oh, you gotta be careful. You cannot overextend against this character. I think that, like, P.Plant is just one of those characters where, like, if you ever overextend against him, you're gonna get, like, so punished. But look at that.
Oh, they traded.
Yeah, like you cannot ask for a much, like, a closer match than this. It's so funny, like. We went from being like, yeah, like these matches are close, but now we're at such close matches that they literally are hitting each other in sync to the point where they're killing at the same time.
And it looks like BW trying to do some work to see if he can catch back in on this stop. Oh, but he got blown up down there. Oh wow, look at that recovery.
Yeah, the side B bomb, while it did delay his recovery, it still gives him another chance to use the up B. I was thinking that maybe just due to his percent, it might slam him against the wall. But it didn't have enough knockback to hit him into it, so he didn't have to worry about teching. And now, on top of that, throws the projectile back, doesn't get much off of it, but that's fine. I think sometimes players, if they do end up finding themselves have a projectile, especially one that's not very traditional, like let's say it's like a Pac-Man fruit, that's so unfortunate.
How many does it have? 8 points of armor, I'm assuming?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very hard to, like, there's, especially when, like, you actually have to time it so that you hit the head after it's been launched. So, like, let's say BW reads that he's going to do a fully charged sideways down beam and runs backwards, similar to, like, Banjo.
Yeah.
If you are able to punish with, like, an F smash, for instance, that, like, down B, it'll do damage to him, but he won't take any knockback still. So, like, even then, you're not necessarily getting, like, a punish off of it, you're just getting the damage. And, like, you have to worry about the disjoint and all the damage that you may take if you don't trade with it. So, even then, like, it has a lot of shield stun, so you can't even punish that shield. It's just an overall crazy move, and you gotta be careful of up smash again. Not overextending yourself is, I think, the key to this matchup. It's taking what you can get.
Almost tied on percentage. Ooh, hits him with the buster.
Oh, BW, be careful. Don't want to overextend yourself in this matchup. Back throw into.
Oh!
Whoa, that was so scary for BW, and he was able to kind of fidget his way out of that one, but.
Wow.
I don't know if he poked or if he meant to jump out of that, but really great read from BW, like being able to just be like, all right, respect this, and so. He goes and he just runs up to and up smashes, and kind of just allowed BW to force that type of pressure that Luxray has kind of been forcing onto BW. This whole match is like, you'll see, like, look at all that pressure. That's so terrifying. And then right there, he gets one up smash, sees him go for the F smash, shields it, thinks he's going for up till, I think, because he's just dashing, right? And then instead gets the up smash. And that may have poked, it may have just been not what he was expecting, you know? But good win on him, tying it up, and this is it. Can BW take it in this first set?
I was going to say, this is what I was kind of excited about seeing because, you know, I think that it's really difficult to come out of a loss and then go in feeling more confident if you could. Now, granted, you know, at a certain level of gameplay, and there it is. No games will be played right now. If he wins, it's because he was better.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like in the beginning. It was like Lux was like kind of testing him in a funny way, in a sense, because it's like, oh yeah, do you know this random character? Do you know this random character? How good are you? And then it's like, all right, you beat my character, you beat my funny character. Now I will respect that you did that and give you like a proper like full power Luxray, if you will.
You know, mind you, I mean, part of what it says to me is Luxray feels the pressure of possibly losing in this, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because, like, even then, like, we've seen in the past where, like, Luxray may pull out, like, the Falco or whatever, or even like Lamomo. Lamomo plays like DDD and not like DK or whatnot, just because he needs a different matchup pick, right? And like they never do switch off of it if they are winning with it. They're not going to just switch off of it because like why would you? If the player you're playing against is having an issue with that character, there's not really a reason to change that like such a hard point of your gameplay. And often when we see BW's down, we'll see him pick up the Terry, we'll see him pick up other characters, and this time he did not do that at all. He just stuck with the Mega Man, and it got him all the way here. It got him into a pretty even match. Got to the counter. Oh, such a weird position.
Woo. And the one thing I was really worried about with BW Styles is the using projectiles, because Luxray is definitely looking for something to try to build revenge on.
Yeah. And I think here for BW, you just can't let that get to you. Because look at that. Like, even though he got the kill, BW can use his really great aerials to kind of just pace Luxray. And sure, he's not getting the damage first, but he's keeping up in terms of stocks and just overall damage for this match. And I think that as long as he isn't allowing Luxray to build up too much crazy percent, or take the stocks too much earlier than him, this should be even till the end. But as I say that, it's getting closer and closer to looking like Luxray may take this. And there it is, that last stock. Oh man. So now I think we just need to see, similar to other matches, this is like still, the name of the game is balance. With like ground plant, with Banjo, with P.Plant, with everybody that he's kind of played today. There has been this mix of like, all right, you can punish this character now and not punish him then, and you have to really respect that. Wow.
Perfectly measured. Talk about measure twice, cut once.
Yeah. And we haven't seen BW get those types of like reads or punishes rather like in a while. And speaking of punishes, there's Luxray, but really like that's not something that we get to see him get very often. And now this is a one-stop game. Will he get it? That side B is gonna hit real far. Where are we going? Oh man. Oh, doesn't get the punish. That's gonna hurt. Gets to that second punch. Don't overextend. And now you see the pace has changed tremendously. They've gone from being really up in each other's faces to BW just taking his time, knowing that he has the type of time to just throw out these projectiles. He does not need to worry about getting a stock. He does not need to worry about being in Luxray's face yet. It is not time for kill percent. He's only at 70%. Cannot overextend. Overextends just a little bit there with the grab, but luckily Incineroar does not get any sort of crazy punish. Goes to the side B, uses the platform to get down. Punishes with the F smash. Uses another one. What's he gonna do? Gets the saw again. Punishes with the spot dodge. Does not get grabbed again. He has to stay away from these grabs. He knows it's the wing condition Incineroar's looking for. What will he do? And he... Oh! That's probably it. Yep. Just a little bit of fear with that air dodge in. And Luxray knew it, and he purposely dashed forward and then did the side B backwards so that it would kill off the closer side. And I think that this next set, I am very much hopeful that BW does not like give up, and I really hope that he recognizes the type of gameplay he needs to do to continue, because it was very close. It was just a bit of fear right there with that air dodge, and I think there he just didn't have the area that he needed to. Like, he didn't have the jump at the end, and that's why he air dodged. He didn't want up B there because he already had, you know? And I think there you just have to reset on ledge, maybe up B, and then jump like up high, and just to get away from live Incineroar's stuff. You don't want to be on the ground. You noticed that on PSC, the platform height was high enough to where you weren't being punished by grabs. I think that BW recognizes that earlier on in this next set. He's going to be able to contest a bit earlier and not have to fight his way back up the hill. But if he doesn't do that, it's going to be really hard, because Luxray was really showing how dominating he can be with grabs.
Yeah, so we are now in a bracket reset. It's back to 0-0 on this. BW Styles coming out with his very first strike. He's striking Smashville to get started. Let's see how they go back into this. I'd imagine Luxray at this point probably not going to kid around too much. I could imagine him picking a single, rotation character. But if they end up going the distance again, or he ends up down 2 matches or facing elimination, he's probably going to play it out with Incineroar. And guess what? That Incineroar was not a gimme match. You know, that wasn't a gimme. You know, really, BW Styles was 1 to 2 decisions away from really kind of, you know, being in position to be able to go ahead and take it all right there. But looks like they've decided to go back to Pokemon Stadium. BW Styles hopped into the ring. Looks like Luxray deciding that or going over his character select. So let's see.
Yeah, I think you kind of said it best. Like, just a couple decisions, and even consider this: that was a game where BW was close and also playing behind, and we're seeing the Little Mac. I don't know.
So yeah,
and, I mean, I think that this is also like just kind of like similar to Jess. That's like, here's a test. Do you know how to deal with Little Mac? And I don't know if we'll get the same results from BW as we would from Jess, because BW does play a character that's very heavy on projectiles, and I think all we need to see from him is to not overextend, because already you're seeing a bunch of situations where you're like, all right, well, I can do this because it's Little Mac, right? And one of those things is like trying to punish him from a disadvantage, because like when you're on ledge like that, sure, it's Little Mac, he's not going to go and spike you, but if you roll into him like that, you're not just going to like get around like whatever read he's going to do, because he's just going to smash attack again and again, and you're going to be second shield stun for both of those, and then all of a sudden after the second one, you're not going to have a shield. So we need to see lots of projectiles come out from BW. We need to see lots of forward aerials, lots of heavy disjoints, and anytime that the KO punches out, do not approach. Stay away, because as soon as he gets that on you, you are going to lose.
Well, he made sure to get rid of it that time.
Yeah, you need to get rid of that as quickly as possible, and I think that was probably the best way you could have possibly done it, because that time, Luxray would have had to either use it to armor through the spike, or he's losing it and losing a stock. And also keep in mind that when you use the KO punch in the air, you do not inherit the killing power that it does on the ground. You actually lose all sorts of killing power from it, and it no longer has that crazy killing knockback that it would on the ground. And this is also a character with Little Mac that really struggles off stage. Like, as you'll be able to see in a second, if BW doesn't overextend too hard. And there he does.
I think
allowing him to get
Luxray was just a better reaction right there.
Yeah, I think so too. Because we kind of see BW's like type of ledge guarding there. He goes for that back air and then into the down air. And missing the first one, he does try to like commit to that down air and try to like catch both reads. But in doing so, it makes you more vulnerable due to the end leg on that down air. And then you're in a situation where Little Mac, because of how fast he is on the ground, can punish you from it as you're landing. And I just think that in this situation, you need to be throwing out lots of pellets if he's far away from you, and throw out lots of saws and leaf shields when he's mid-range. And if he's close up in your face, you just run away. Or grab. Like, those are your only two options. Grab or run away. And see, that's kind of what he's doing now, is throwing out these projectiles, forcing Luxray to counter, and not really get much off of it because the counter does hit you away. And
Can you imagine in real life countering a laser beam with your fist?
Yeah, boxing gloves on, not even like brass knuckles, just like literally just like practicing practice gloves. Like you're just at the gym and like your trainer's like, all right, block this, and they just shoot a laser gun at you. You're like, what?
Counter it.
Yeah, and
keep them away.
Yeah, and that right there is pretty much the shortcoming, like the true shortcoming of Little Mac. Cause like, look, BW didn't even have to do anything once he threw him off stage. It wasn't that like he was far away either. Like you'll see in the replay, I go this. He was right here. Like he jumped too, and like here he gets hit off again because BW loses his stock instantly, runs off, hits him with one F smash. He's on screen here, side B's, up B's, and just doesn't make it. Like he literally didn't do it. Like anything beyond just the initial hit, you know, and like. It's just so funny to see Little Mac because it's just like sometimes he's like going crazy, like we saw earlier with like Jest, and then there's times it's just like you just see him kind of fall and just not coming back. But it's kind of the weird like wave that you see Little Mac's on.
Yeah, no, and I mean I think that that's a weighted decision that you make, right? For the speed and the strength that you get on the ground. I think Luxray and anyone else who's played Mac for more than 5 minutes knows that's the huge trade-off that you're making with those characters. So, test character 1 out of the way. And here we go, test character number 2. Getting ready to come up with Donkey Kong in this matchup. Let's go ahead and get to it.
Yeah, and I think that, Small Battlefield, I think that this is a bit more even than it would be on PS2, just because DK does have some struggles, recovering on PS2 against Mega Man, just how big it is. And also, this stage opens up a lot more kill confirms and, setups for DK on stage versus off. And just because, the small height, as well as the stage platform heights and everything, it just allows DK far more, kill confirms off of the flat with cargo throw and things like that. But I think that from what we've seen, I think that this is going to be a very close match between these two, just regardless of character, but also just because both these characters are characters that these players are very well versed in, and we know that Luxray knows what BW is going to be doing when he's off stage. He's going to be going for that fair. He's going to be going for that down air with the edge guards. And so far, we haven't seen any sort of, we've seen attempts, but we haven't seen a confirm yet from BW. And there we see the reverse confirm from Luxray doing the down B, which is such a great move that if you're a DK player or striving to be a good DK player, figure out how to take full advantage of, because that thing is a crazy move as an area effect, shield stun, shield breaking effect on the ground. In the air, it works as a mix-up movement tool, as well as a spike, as well as a anti-air, as anti-ground option. If you're trying to land, it's a great landing tool. It's great when B-reverse, it does everything. Right? It's a crazy, well-versed move, and there we see some kind of crazy skill going out for that B-reverse donkey punch, but doesn't get the read. Finally gets the kill with that F smash. BW trying to keep up with the pace of damage from Donkey Kong, but let's see, does he go for Ding Dong? No, he's gonna go for the stage spike, and there it is. Literally,
but ends up having to suffer it from him himself.
That's so unfortunate for Luxray. I definitely don't think that was intentional. That's such a huge trade that's not in his favor at all. And let's see what he can do with it. BW knows that this is a crazy shift in momentum. Using the up airs to juggle, that's decent amount of damage there. And the pellets, so this is what I'm talking about. You're using the pellets just to get the little interactions that allow you to also get those side Bs in as you're landing. Because as he tries to also land, you throw out one more pellet and then side B, buffered in. And he's still stuck as he's getting hit by all 3 of those things. And now look at how crazy the damage. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, nice fade back on that fair. Really allowing himself to kind of get out of the way of trouble. Ooh.
Gotta watch that.
Nice fade back again. No, that's so important. That fade back is gonna be really important later on in this set. If he continues to do stuff like that, it's gonna kind of show the little cracks with these heavier characters. Let's see, what can he do here? I still think it's anyone's game.
It certainly is.
No. Wow.
Luxray just showing you how dangerous he is. I mean, just at about any point in time, man.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier with these different kill setups that you have on Small Battlefield versus other stages, and especially because that's something this spike kind of thing is something that you can get on other stages, but it's just literally easier to get because of that platform. Being as short as it is, allows DK a much easier time to retain his extra jumps, as well as let's say he misses that, he still gets the platform below to get the up smash, up tilts, up Bs, whatever it is that you want to get as a connection tool. So it's just such a stressful situation for BW in that situation. Now he has to win a game to keep this going, and will he be able to do that? Because it is getting close. He has not switched off from Mega Man. He is saying run it back right away, and we're going straight back to Small Battlefield. And I like this use of those pellets again. staying at that mid-range, making sure to take full advantage of the fact that they do travel a really far distance. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be helping out too much yet, just because every time we've seen Luxray connect, the damage from that has just been crazy. And he's already got him at 115. However, I think that as long as BW kind of continues to do these fade back fairs, continue to do what's been working for damage, and then eventually size him up to get that final kill, we'll see it get a bit more neutral. But for now, can't be doing that. You can't be fearing what has to happen yet. And again, that's a situation that's happened in the past with other players where you're trying to anticipate something that hasn't happened at all yet, like even like on screen or like in the match yet. Because you'll be seeing times where players like they'll do those air dodges like that, or they'll throw a smash attack, but the player hasn't even reacted yet. And like, it's better to do nothing and have an option for when you do need to react, rather than reacting like early because you expect it to happen. Because then you're just trying to cause that interaction to happen rather than knowing it will and being able to guarantee a punish. Because that's kind of what's led us to BW being this low in terms of having some sort of advantage. But here we might see back throw. Not yet. Nice, the up smash. Gonna take it finally.
He's gonna need a heck of a stock right here, and that's not gonna help.
However, it's a big stage. Cross stage, it's a bit better. That counter with that side B there. Oh, and that's what I mean. Again, Luxray reading into the fact that he can do nothing, and it scares BW a little bit here. And that, like, that's a huge thing. Because doing nothing in like a platform fighter like this, and any platform fighter, is so scary. Because if you're expecting something like, if you're expecting literally anything, you will never expect them to stand still. Because you're so focused on like what's happening, like in the moment, or what you expect to be happening, or just what you're afraid of. Because like a lot of players really respect that Donkey Kong Fair and that spike, and don't want to get spiked by it to the point where they do what BW is doing, where they're really trying to avoid it at all costs. And here we're seeing BW maybe taking a bit too many quick to react actions. We're seeing like these F smashes. We're seeing these aerials and these air dodges just coming out a bit too early, or a bit like preemptive, and it's just not. Oh, nice spike!
Okay,
finally.
We've got a ball game again here.
Yeah, this game is super important for momentum. BW using these fade back nairs and jabs, trying to get something started. Finally gets something started. Let's see what the juggle can do. Gains percent lead again. The fade back fair again. Uses the saw to keep him away. Oh, gets the spike again. Up air. What's he gotta do? Tries to go for it again. Nice. Don't overextend. Nice. Got himself back into it.
There.
Nice.
Oh.
And they're doing his own sort of call out there, similar to what's been happening with BW, like on his own fault, is that there, Lamomo or Luxray kind of doing the same kind of reaction that BW is doing, but with a different type of move. Knowing that his fair has kind of stuffed out BW, like look at this, he does it there, and he kind of has to go for that same similar situation as earlier. BW knows that Luxray does not want to get spiked with the down air because it's something that BW does so often. And this time he just charges the forward smash, knowing that as soon as he throws out the fair, it's going to punish him hard. And he can charge a full charge forward smash as well. So really good knowledge on BW, knowing when to switch it up, when it mattered most. So really good stuff to him, getting the lead in this grand final.
Back up at 2-1, and he has an opportunity now to close out. And, you know, he's got to be pretty anxious to see if Luxray is now done with the test characters, and it looks like they are possibly going back to, they're going back to Pokemon Stadium. So Luxray is calling for home court advantage, possibly. We will see. As we know, it's one of his favorites. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go ahead and switch up that scoreboard and hop into game number 4 of Grand Finals.
I also think that another thing is, like, you have to keep in mind that Incineroar does not benefit as much from these higher platforms, whereas like DK and Incineroar both benefit from the lower platforms of Small Battlefield. But Donkey Kong does benefit a lot more from Small Battlefield than Incineroar does. And I think he's thinking that as long as he can scare and like kind of intimidate BW into not using these higher platforms to his advantage here, by like forcing him off when he's recovering with those spares and things like that, the few quicker options that he does have, like DK's spare is not like very fast, so it's not going to be something that can punish that often. And trying to use back air for that is not something else that you're going to be able to do like consistently. It's just something very committal. And so he's got to have really good ledge guarding here. He's got to have really decent pace and control of this game on the ledge here. And we're going to be seeing lots of throw and grab attempts coming out from Luxray here. As he tries to control this game, nice fade back with that runaway.
Oh, my dodge.
Really nice use of that up smash with the rage to kill it. And I think that's such a similar reaction to the end of last game that it kind of freaked out Luxray just enough to make him do like some crazy sort of movement options with the air dodge in. And no extra credit, but I don't blame him. That first stock was a lot of like spaghetti towards the end with that like really crazy scramble at the end. And I also think that both these players, they definitely both have some nerves at this point. Like look at this. Using the jabs and nairs to force Luxray to be unable to even get that side B. And that's something that I think I mentioned last week about Incineroar. I did some research with the training room thing where I had Incineroar approach me with side B, right? And if you're able to throw a hitbox that has any sort of like disjoint on it or a projectile, it's not like it has armor, like Bowser's and stuff like that, or like DK's up B. It just gets stuffed out. And that's something that, oh man, that down smash does not have. Like, down smash can contest you getting up from ledge like that, and unfortunately, we're already seeing BW down by a chunk of percent here. But he's kind of been in these situations before. He needs to stay away from Luxray now. Do not approach. Do not want to get hit with that extra damage yet. You can afford it later, maybe after you've taken the stock, but not yet. Nice. Okay, that's fine. The fair is fine. It's not a lot. That too is also alright. Doesn't get the grab, that's so key. Doesn't go for the spike either, does not allow him to get stage control. Such an important thing. And right here, final stock situation, Luxray taking a second to breathe on that platform.
Something we
What's gonna happen
rarely
here?
ever see.
Look at how oppressive this is, this edge guarding. And Luxray turning it around with that grab, but there yet. And look at that, even the side B cannot contest Leaf Shield. So now, we have an opportunity where, hopefully, if BW is able to take advantage of that situation again, he can reactively charge Leaf Shield and be able to approach while Luxray is trying to grab. And this might be it. Will this ledge guard situation end the match? Uses the high up B, something that we don't get to see from Luxray very often. Tries to counter that, doesn't even get it out in time. The multi-hit. Alright, this is where Rage is really going to count too. Goes low. Goes for the ledge guard, resets neutral. Both are in center stage, both fighting for neutral position. Fights it again, does not allow him to get this grab. And this is what I was talking about. You cannot allow Incineroar to get that grab. Just react and throw out any sort of hitbox, and you'll stuff him right out. And now we're going to see almost max range Incineroar. Getting hit off stage, has to use side B, has to use up B. Just hanging out on ledge, this might hit. Oh man.
Oh, dodges the...
Again, avoiding the grab. This is his win condition. Luxray has to get a grab. He's at max range, 170%. Anything will kill here.
There it is! There it is!
BW Styles
What?
wins grand finals.
Yes!
BW
Oh!
Styles. Congratulations. That was such an insane last stock for BW. This whole time, he knew that he needed to play it safe. And this is why I talk about aggressive patience. Because look at this whole time. The win condition is there. Any of these grabs hit, he loses the game. That's it. He knew that all he had to do was get him to a high enough percent to where he was completely unable to react, unable to get around any of that stuff. And BW did a great job of showing why you just need to have some aggressive patience. Because what Luxray is good at is that aggressive patience. And he kind of had his own game, and now we have a contender for the top one spot. And if BW is kind of able to continue this consistency and stay at the top, it's going to be very exciting, even more so than it's been recently with Luxray and Momo occasionally, like we'll have 2-3 very close top 3 contenders. Congratulations, BW. That was very well deserved. Crazy stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh. Wow.
Whew. I had a pizza delivery that just got here.
And Luxray also laughing at the end, saying, Lamau, you did it, showing no sorts of salt, just happy to see his fellow competitor be like, you did it, man. You did it. And BW showing that gif in chat, Homer Simpson running around, celebrating on the floor, just running around. Congratulations again to BW. Like, what a match. Like, and that's, like, again, I said this in the past about Luxray with, like, aggressive passiveness with Knockout. But with Mega Man, it's kind of a different ballgame because he has a bit of everything. Like, you'll see that Mega Man is aggressive with his, like, close-up moves with the jabs, nairs, and saw blades, and leaf shields, and things like that. But you also have to keep in mind that some of his best skills do come from really forcing your opponent to be stuck and overextend in situations they're not comfortable. And when you have a character like Incineroar, who I say all the time, he does struggle, like, offstage. He does struggle against characters that can zone. And you're always kind of like asking, well, why haven't we seen that like be abused yet? And it's because it's hard. Like, it's really hard to kind of get into that good rhythm and understand that, like, all right, I can punish this at this time. I can punish this at that time. And Luxray was just starting to get punished by a small amount right at the end because BW finally was realizing, because he was at an advantage and he didn't need to like necessarily switch to Terry or like Samus or whatnot. And using that Mega Man all the way through was able to show him that he was able to punish that side B grab. And I think that may change the type of meta we've been seeing from Luxray as well later on in future tournaments. Because now this kind of exposed a bit of like what you can do against Incineroar in certain situations. Like that grab, that side B grab may start to get stuffed out a bit more often too. So really good. Like that was textbook for like what you need to do in these types of situations, and really good on BW with his breakout grand finals win.
Very true. I agree most definitely. And I want to try and take the opportunity to take a look at the bracket so that we can commemorate the moment for him on stream. This way it's captured there. BW Styles winning winners finals, going into set number 1 of grand finals, losing a 2-3, a very close one, but then of course turning it around in the reset and winning 3-1, take on his very first championship. Man, I just want to thank everybody for hopping in today. It's been a crazy week for me, man. This is a really great way to kind of cap it off. You know, for me, it's definitely cool to see someone who has been with the tournament series progress so much over time and get better, and I just really have the firm feeling that this is only the beginning for him. You know, he'll continue to have better matches going forward in the future. So before we get out of here, Cherry, what do you got coming up this week? I know you've done your podcast beforehand, and I have to make sure to remember to set you on auto host as well.
Yeah, so this week, definitely with like how much it's kind of progressed, I'll definitely be talking more about, like, this week's podcast. I'll be talking about, like, the top 3 contenders and kind of analyzing their matches, specifically to kind of explain what it is that they're doing that's, like, helping them to grow or just continue to stay at that consistent level. And last week, I kind of talked about that a bit with Luxray, and I'll be able to talk about a lot more with both Luxray and BW, kind of showing off really why they both have been consistently making it to this top 3, top 1 situation, as well as really picking apart BW's like road to like this number 1 spot finally, because he's had lots of matches and lots of like hills to climb. Because at first, like, there was tournaments during the winter season where he really couldn't face my Pac-Man on an even level. Like, there was times where Galaxian or whatever it was I would throw at him would just really kind of push him out of that game plan. And then finally, he'd been practicing for weeks. He beat me in one of the tournaments. I think it was like IDM like 29 or something. And by then, he'd figured it out. And then he started having those breakout runs where he gets the top 4, top 3, top 2, and finally he made the top 1. So that's what I'll be working on Mondays and Wednesdays. They're at 4 p.m. That's when the stream starts. So you can catch me at Cherry SSBU, I believe. Yeah. So that's all I got. But congratulations again to BW.
Very much so, man. And I just want to thank everybody for hopping on tonight. Of course, we'll be back for next week in preparation for the close-up of this season. We'll be moving into season number 5. And then, of course, we will be listing out the power rankings as we get ready to get started for that next season at the beginning of April. No fools. April 1st is coming up funny